many of you were here in 2013? Right? We had a great time with our live studio audience talk show. And that's what you are today, my live studio audience. So you have to be live and present. Yes. Ready? So, I am very pleased that our guests today have achieved remarkable things on the track. Have a look at our first guest.
Asafa Powell, CD, born November 23, 1982 in Linstead, St. Catherine, specializes in the 100 meters. Powell held the 100-meter world record between June 2005 and May 2008 with times of 9.77 and 9.74 seconds respectively. Voted IAAF Male Athlete of the Year in 2006. He has consistently broken the 10-second barrier in competitive competitions, with his personal best of 9.72 seconds being the 5th fastest time in history. Powell has broken the 10-second barrier legally more times than anyone else, 94 times. He has competed in the 100 meters in the 2004, 2008, and 2012 Olympics, and was a member of the 4x100 meter relay team that struck gold for Jamaica in the 2015 IAAF World Championships in Beijing, China. Recently signed as one of Puma's newest brand ambassadors, the Sub-10 King has every intention of punctuating an already impressive career with a command performance at the upcoming Olympics in Rio in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm Sagicor welcome for Asafa Powell.
I did that just for the ladies.
Yeah, me too, me too.
You too?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good, good.
You hearing me? Everyone hearing me?
Yeah, they're hearing you. They're looking at you more, though.
Okay.
So, Asafa Powell, former world record holder, tremendous athlete. You have accomplished so much in your career. But you didn't have the typical track and field kind of start, because I was searching. I Googled you a lot. Saf.
Well,
I did. I Googled you a lot, and I didn't find any pictures of you as a track and field star, as a youngster. Like, you didn't have the boys' championships kind of career. You started kind of late.
I think I got set up, you know.
What do you mean?
I got set up.
Why? I don't set up yet.
All right.
No,
all right,
seriously speaking now.
Let me say, you know, firstly, give God thanks, you know, for being here today. You know, Honorable Danny Williams, you know, Richard Baltz, and Donovan. we had a arm wrestling match last night, you know, and
did you win?
That guy just never give up.
Who, Donovan?
Never.
Donovan doesn't
Try
give
with
up.
right hand, left.
Both.
Both, you know. So perfect example, you know, of someone who doesn't give up, you know, and
Yay, Donovan.
Yeah.
Yay, DP. Yeah, so you were saying that you started late.
Yeah, I started very late, you know, in my track and field career. Not the typical athlete. You know, most athletes started from like 5 or 6, wherever. But I started at 18, and you know, that's why, you know, I'm in the sport so long. I guess, you know, I have a longer lifespan in the sport.
But before, we actually have some pictures of you as a young person. I Googled you.
Set up,
proper.
Yeah, set up.
But I understand that before you wanted to be a track star, you thought you were going to be a baller.
Thought.
Can you bring that football for me?
Let
Yeah,
me
see, I
tell you.
heard.
Let me tell you, right?
No, but
Let me tell you, I do two things well.
thank you. What?
I do two things well.
Two things well.
Yeah, I run fast,
Uh-huh.
and I talk better without my shirt. But I'm not gonna take it out today.
Well, now. No, you see, Asafa, right now I'm contemplating. Wait, no, I'm contemplating. Wait, no, audience, can I get my floor managers to get this audience under control? Now, seriously now, I'm really contemplating in myself now, do I want you to take off the shirt or do I want to lose my job? And right?
Make the right choice. Make the right choice.
I'll make the right choice.
Yeah.
However, I did hear that you were a baller.
Was.
You were, and before track and field, you wanted to play football.
Yeah.
Can you show us what you can do?
My pants kind of.
No, come on.
on.
I think it's called juggling.
Set up. Pants kind of tight.
No, I think. Yeah, I think.
Pants kind of tight.
Okay. So you're good at that. But you still
Not really.
decided, well, I'm glad he chose track and field.
Yeah.
But you decided to do track and field, and you say you started at 18. We actually found a video of your first international performance at the Commonwealth Games. Do we
Whoa.
have that?
Whoa.
Do we have that?
I was like, what, 18?
Yeah, you were 18 years old, and you were on a relay team. You didn't do the individual race.
What year was that? Last year?
2002.
Oh.
So in 2002, you had your first international meet. I personally feel like you were robbed.
Yeah.
But tell me what that was like for you, that first international meet, that first time you got to represent Jamaica.
I mean, I was very excited. I was out there with guys who, I grew up watching on TV. John Drummond, he was the one who caused all the excitement. These guys, I watched them on TV growing up, and I always wanted to, be like them. I didn't know I would actually run with them.
Well, in 2002, actually, at the Commonwealth Games, I think it was England that you were playing, and yeah, here we go. It was not playing, sorry. It was England that...
Well, a long hold, but they're away first time. Now, who's going to break now? The Jamaican's going well, so is Jason Gardner. Jason Gardner's up on the Trinidad and Tobago side. And England, let's see about the changeover. The Welsh going all right. And the changeover's good. Down the back straight to Marlon Devonish. The Jamaicans going very strongly, and the Nigerians with a little bit of work to do. It's Nigeria, England, Jamaica changing over well. Good change, and Condon has got it on the back straight. Christian Malcolm has it down on the third leg. Jamaica leading. England in second place is coming off. Australia going well on the outside. There comes England. England and Jamaica. It's Darren Campbell. Darren Campbell of the Jamaican coming in now. And that's Powell. And Campbell is coming through. Campbell gets it up. Champion, it's very close. It's very close. I think Campbell got it. I think he got it.
All right.
We'll wait and see. I think he did. He thinks he did. He was coming.
So who won? It wasn't, they robbed him. That's what I'm saying. They robbed him. But what were you wearing there? What is that?
we call it the banana suit. that was the banana suit.
Anyway, right. So that was, in fact, I found it very amazing that in that clip, they called you the Jamaican. They didn't even know your name, really.
Yeah, that was my first year running internationally. I think it was my second time going on a plane as well.
I'm gonna leave that alone. But you persevered, though. You were how old when you broke the world record?
I was
First
21.
So within like 2 years. 2 or 3 years after that banana suit, you broke, you broke the world record.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
It felt great. The year before I was at the Olympic Games in Athens, and I was the favorite to win. It didn't happen. Disappointment. But I went back the next year on the same track, and I broke the world record. And I was up until today, I'm still shocked. I didn't know I was going to do it. But from there, it was a different start in my life.
You broke the record again after that?
And again, yeah.
And again and again, you broke the record.
Yes.
There came a time, though, where you weren't the world record holder anymore. Mm-hmm. Your friend, Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Is he really your friend?
Yeah, man. Off the track, we're friends.
True something?
Yeah, man. True something.
I've always wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, true. But on the track.
Your eyes look believable.
Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah. But he broke the record, and how did you feel not having that title anymore?
At first, I was like, how did that happen? Where did this I didn't see it coming, it just happened out of nowhere, but I learned to accept it, and, I remember, like 2 weeks after Usain came to me, I was like, Safa, please don't break back the record.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'll consider it.
But then you both of you had a healthy rivalry.
Yeah, it was a good rivalry because, we're Jamaicans, we're both Jamaicans, and I guess that's why, I didn't really feel bad about him breaking the record because, we're Jamaican, it's still staying in Jamaica. And, the funny thing is, I think the entire world really appreciated being in Jamaica and not in the US, because...
That's bad. Bad.
It's good.
Seriously speaking, though, I wouldn't skirt around the fact that you have...
Skirt? Yeah.
You have more critics than anybody in track and field, I think, ever.
Yeah.
Especially in Jamaica, I think. How does that make you feel?
Make me feel powerful,
Really?
If I wasn't, doing something, if I wasn't somebody important, no one would talk about me. And most of the times, when I really look at the people who are saying stuff, I'm like, who are you to me, for me to listen to you? Last night I was sitting, with the CEO, of the company, and these guys motivate me. So if these guys, these are the people who I want to be like, who,
That's good. It's good to know that because I've watched you on TV, and I'm sure a lot of persons have watched you, and you are. People say you choke all the time when it comes to the big races. You've never gone to the Olympics and gotten a gold medal, and a lot of people are nervous now, saying, Alicia, are you serious with these questions? But really, they call you a choker, and I've often wondered if it affects you when you get up there to line up. Are you thinking about, Jesus, is this going to happen to me again?
Sometimes it flashes through your head. It happens so many times. You kind of wonder. You wonder if it's really, going to happen again. But at the end of the day, you have to think positive. I said, my thing. I always, a lot of times, I question God. and then, I have to take a step back and say, but I've accomplished a lot, I don't need to,
You have accomplished a lot because you are known as the man with the most sub-10s
Yes.
in running.
That's a lot of
Period.
sub-10s. A lot of sub-10s too.
It's 94.
Tara, 94? Yeah, 94.
Tara, is it 94? Thank you, Tara. But there came a time in your life, we all know about it. Is it fair to say that when you tested positive, it was one of the darkest days of your life, or the darkest periods of your life?
It was, because never in my life, I'd imagined that something like this would ever happen to me. I was wondering if it was a mistake or something, but then as time goes on, it really hit me that it's really me. This happened to me, so I didn't know how to take it. I didn't understand what was going on.
You understand now what
Well,
happened?
I understand now, but at the time I didn't understand what was going on. But my family, friends, they're the ones who kept me going, and
You have a very close relationship with your mother and your father. Daddy's so dapper. And your mom is everything.
yes, definitely.
What did they say when you were,
Well,
in essence, found guilty of a doping
my
violation?
parents are, they're both pastors, so they know me, they know me, so my mother, she looked at me and she told me that don't worry about it, it will be over soon, God didn't bring you this far to leave you here, so with those encouraging words, I must tell you, when I just came back, my mother offered me orange juice, and I said no. I was paranoid, because I didn't know where this came from. All of a sudden, I was tested positive for something I had no clue about. So I was kind of.
And you lost your endorsements.
Yes.
How many?
I lost 4 endorsements.
Did you ever get them back? Has anyone reapproached you?
No, but now I'm with Puma, so
What motivated you to come back?
I'm saying a lot, right?
No, it's fine. It's good.
As I say, I'm in my shirt, so I'm kind of nervous. But over the years, I've been like the light, in my family. I'm the one who keep my parents smiling. I have my friends cheering, and the entire country, Jamaica, they motivate me as well. When you look at the negative compared to the positive, the negative is way here, and positive is up there. So
You came back, and I have to say, people probably think this way too. You came back as a different person, like you were having fun at the start line. You're like, yeah.
I mean.
You didn't look nervous.
I mean, like, that was said before. Things happen for a reason, and you have to make something positive out of it. Positive change. Now I'm actually training with my brother, and I wasn't seeing him for years. Like he left Jamaica in '91, and I saw him like twice. So now I'm with him every day. I get to see the person who I wanted to be like when I was younger, because he used to run as well, was an athlete, an Olympian, and I've always wanted to be like him. So now, I'm with him, training with him, so it's a positive change in my life right now.
All right, so you went to the World Championships, and personally, I had high hopes that you were going to win your individual race. High hopes.
Yeah.
But you didn't. What was that like?
It was very, was a sad moment for me.
You tweeted something right afterwards. You said that nobody can say anything to you. There it is. I'm sorry I disappointed and let my fans and Jamaica down at another championship. There's nothing you can say that I haven't said to myself. What did you say to yourself?
You know, at that point, you know, I wanted to just say, this is it, you know, just give up. You know, I wanted to give up at that point. So, you know, I pretty much told myself that, you know, this is it, this is the end of it.
Now you have a new deal with Puma. Congratulations on the gold medal, though.
Yeah, thank you.
That backstretch, something that's so. Not true. But you're with Puma now, as you said.
Yes.
And I understand there's a line for the Sub-10. There's a Sub-10 line.
There's going to be a Sub-10 line next year. You know, so, you know, in all of this, you know, every time when, you know, it seems like I'm going to give up, you know, something positive happens, you know. And you know, just turn my life around, you know, and, you know, I like to be around positive people. And, you know, I'm around positive people right now. So.
You are. Wait to see how positive they get now. Let's talk about the calendar.
What about it?
So Asafa, you're, yeah. You are very unclad in your calendar images. Yeah.
It's not my doing. It's not my fault.
It's not your doing.
No, it's not my fault.
It's not your fault. Somebody take off your clothes and put you on that car?
Yes.
Why did you decide to do this?
This calendar now, you know, people, you know, well, females been asking for it, you know, for years.
This one.
You know, over the years, you know, I've been getting requests, you know, why don't you do a calendar? Why, you know, don't you do this? Why don't you model, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, Tara and myself, we just decided to do a calendar.
Well, you're great at it.
There you go.
Yes. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Novleen Williams-Mills.
Thank you.
The Sagicor Sigma corporate run is the largest 5K